Today I'm going to talk about the 5 things if I could redo my teens, I'd do differently. My first one, well, first and foremost, I want to say that I appreciated everything I learned in my teens and throughout my high school experience. I appreciated everything I went through, and I think it's only made me a better person. But I am only sharing my experience on things I wish I would have done differently to help my future self, or AKA my current self. So number one is get better grades. I got around a 2.7, weighted was like a 3.1 GPA. I really wish I just got better grades. I have all A's and B's in college right now, and it's not that hard. You just got to put in the work. It's not like crazy, hard. You just got to put in more work than you're used to. And I wish I did that in high school because it was even easier back then. So it's a little frustrating that I didn't get better grades, especially with being an athlete. I could have gone, something you learn about American sports, American college sports, is grades do mean a lot. If you have all A's, you're already a contender for D1 programs, because if you have all A's, you're a perfect student. And what looks better than having a good GPA? So I wish I got better grades. I wish I put more effort into my schooling. Basically, I kind of relied everything off of my knowledge, just what I knew, what made sense to me, what I could already figure out on my own, and that didn't really help curate problem-solving skills, critical thinking skills. It just made me understand, okay, I'm not too stupid. I can pass classes without trying, but, can I excel in them if I tried? I wish I did. And the best way to be respected as a kid is to get good grades, because it just shows, okay, well, it's interesting. My partner said this is like the reason she always got good grades, because in her very, in her very controlled life as a child, her grades were the one thing she had control over. And I thought that was insane to think about. It's like your grades are, as a kid, one of the only things you can control. So why not control them to be the best? The same way if you're an adult, you control your finances, hopefully, to be the best. So it's just really interesting, that perspective. And I wish I took more, I wish I took that in more. So the first one is getting better grades. My second one is not caring why things matter. I did this all the time in high school. Everyone did this in high school. Why is U.S. history going to matter? Why is geometry going to matter? Why is AP calculus going to matter? Why is AP Gov actually helped quite a bit? But why are these English composition classes going to matter? And then you're like, well, okay, they're going to matter for college. Okay, well, why are they going to matter after college? They're not. They're really just not. They're not going to matter at all. And that is kind of the important thing to understand. It doesn't matter. All school is showing you, all school is there for is to show future employers that you are willing to do work that you didn't want to do for free. So that way when you pay them to do work that you don't want to do, you'll do it just as good, right? So it's like, if I just knew that going in, that like all this is bullshit, none of it actually really, really, really matters. There's no reason why you need to know geometry. You just need to show that you're good enough to be taught something, indulge it, and test, take, and be good at retaining that information. That's it. I wish I knew that game earlier, because that would have helped out so much. It would have helped with the better grades. It would have helped with actually caring in school. It would have helped with understanding the overall picture. I think it's really interesting is like when you're a kid, you're like, well, I'm too smart for this. I'm not going to waste my time putting all this time into school when I know it doesn't matter. Well, then you look back at it and you're kind of the stupid kid for not just, all A's, if you're not dumb, isn't that hard. I could have just done that and complained. I could have said school didn't matter and it didn't mean anything and got all A's and not wasted all my time in the world. Then you're the smart kid who got all A's and you just didn't give a shit about it either, but you're like, I know this is what is needed to, excel my future. So, you know what I mean? So I think that's really interesting. The second point is just, I wish I didn't care about the bigger picture so much, The third thing I think is listening to your parents. I wish I listened to my parents a little bit more. Just everything, certain things I did, certain things I didn't do, certain advice that they gave me. You know, just little things. I think every kid, once they grow up, understand that. I don't know where I saw this podcast or something, and it's talked about the 3 phases you go through as a man seeing your dad, or as a person seeing your dad. I think especially boys, is first you idolize. Like, you idolize your father. You're like, that's my dad. He's the coolest person in the world. I can't believe, you know, who he is. Well, so much respect. He's so big. He's the biggest, you know, strongest person. He's your hero. You idolize, and then you demonize. That's when you're going through the teens and you're like, he's trying to control me. His narrative isn't mine. I don't see things the same way as him. Why the fuck, who do you think he is to say these things? He's just an old person. He doesn't know. And then after you idolize, demonize, then you humanize. And that third step is like, oh, this guy is just a guy who is just trying to make it in life. And I had to be an asshole kid and just give him shit too. And it makes you think, like, I could have done better. And just, it's so hard when you're an arrogant or ignorant teenager of being like, well, what do you know? You're not my age. You're not my generation. You don't know what you're going. They're adults too. They're humans too. They've been kids too. If you can understand at some point in your parents' life, they've had the same mentality of you. They know what you're going through. The craziest part is they know what you're going through more than you know what you're going through. And you think you know that you know more, and you're telling them to fuck off. And it's just like, I wish I did that better. So the third thing was I wish I had listened to my parents more. And the fourth thing is I wish I got a job right away. Like 16 on the dot, I wish I got a job. Because I think about what that would mean. It's like, one, you could do your whole high school with probably 2 years work experience. 2 years work experience, right? That's good money. If you had everything paid for, and, you know, if you were in a position where you could save all your money, great. You have money saved. 2 years of working even 20 hours a week, if that's all you could work, that's still thousands of dollars would be saved by the time you graduate. And if your parents made you work at 16 and you had to pay for everything, you would understand the value of a dollar more. I just think there would be no harm in getting a job at 16. You know, and I did college, I did soccer too, and I always thought, oh, I won't do a good job because so much of my life is going into soccer. But I think it might have made me even appreciate soccer more if I did get a job at 16. Like, oh, maybe I really don't want to do this. Maybe I should put more effort into soccer, right? So it's just something to think about. I wish I got a job at 16. I wish I did got as much job experience right away, just so I can understand the lay of the land. You know, you start off in like retail or customer service or food, and you're like, oh, well, I don't want to be here forever. Maybe I should get my degree, you know? Maybe I should figure out that business. Maybe I should put in my work to building my, work skills. It makes you really think. And then the fifth one is crazy. I don't regret it, and I learned a lot from it. But that being said, I wish if I did it over, I wouldn't do it again. And that is being in a relationship in high school. It's so hard not to, in my opinion. I'm a lover. I'm a lover. What can I say? I wanted to be in love my whole life because of my family situation. I've always wanted to curate a really healthy relationship, and I've always strived for that because I never had it. I never saw it. So it's like, that's my one goal in life, is to be a really good father, husband, and leader of my family, because I feel like I didn't see that combined nuclear family unit, and that's my one entire goal. And it's been my entire goal since 8th grade. So it's like, I've been searching for that since high school, and you know, you can find people like that in high school. You have your high school sweethearts, but I think I should have kept a more open mind about how you got a lot to learn. You got a lot to learn, especially if you want to lead a family. You got a lot of growing to do, and you're not ready to do that at 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Like, I'm still not ready. But yeah, if I could have done it over, I wouldn't have been in a relationship, because you're not a man. You can act like a man. You can be a boyfriend. You're not a man. You know how to provide. You know how to lead. You don't know how to inspire. You don't know how to curate. and you don't know how to develop. And these are all things that you need to have a strong family unit and household. And it's just something I wish I understood, that, you know, it's weird because times are changing, but it's just like, there's no need to have a kid early anymore. It's not a norm anymore. It's not a norm to rush to get married either. And it's just like, well, if I really want a strong family unit, and I really, really, really want it to work out, and I want my family to be cohesive and as a unit and everything in between, there's a lot of building blocks I got to build up. There's a lot of strength and conditioning I got to do in order to be that person. So it's just like, if I remembered that, or if I knew that in high school, I think I would have focused more on my own goals and my own structure, my own building, and not looking elsewhere for what else I needed as well. Like the partner, it was like the perfect partner, and my partner was really, you know, a good person and had good moral values and had the whole family unit that I wanted and everything. They had the life I wanted, so I thought having that person in my life would get me there. But I think it just made it harder because I didn't align with that person because they never went through the things I went through. So it was really interesting. But like I said, I don't regret it. But if I were to do things over, I wouldn't have done it, because I think I could have focused on myself better. I could have focused on things that were actually important in high school. Believe it or not, a relationship isn't important in high school. Your grades are important, listening to your parents are important, getting your money up is important, getting your skills up is important, and just trying to figure out what life's all about. So yeah, it's interesting, but that's the 5 things, if I could redo my teens, I would do differently. Thanks for watching.